Okay, this is the second video for going through problems 8 through 21. And I'm going to kind of go through these a little bit quickly, so it's not super long. But the first video was kind of long. So the first part on here is about this word problem. So one health club charges $60 sign-up fee and $65 per month. Another club charges $90 sign-up fee and $45 per month. So let's see, I'm just going to kind of highlight. So $60 sign-up fee, that's the first club, and the second one does a $90 sign-up fee and then $45 per month. How much until the clubs are equal? So we're just literally going to set this up equal to one another. So the first part, 60 plus 65 per month. Oops. And then it has to equal 90 plus 45 per month. And I mean, there's not a lot of space. So let me, I'm not sure. Okay. If I subtract 45 from both sides, 45m, you get 20m, right, plus 60 equals 90, and then if I subtract 60 from both sides, I get 30. And once I divide, I should get 1.5 or 1.5 months for that one. Okay, Joan makes $50 each day mowing lawns. He also makes $10 from the HOA for planting a tree. How many trees would she need to plant if she wanted to make $300 in 5 days? So she's making $10 for each plant, so like that's important. $50 each day, and she wants to make $300 in 5 days. So after 5 days, right, she makes $50 for each day. So we can multiply those two together. So after 5 days, she's going to make $250. Plus, in addition to that, $10 for each tree she plants, and she wants to make $300. So then we would subtract $250 from both sides, which would be 10t equals, there is no room on this. I really should make this another page. And then you divide by 10, so it'd be t is equal to 5. I guess this is there. So, okay, Daniel has $5,000 in his bank account. He deposits $160 each week. So we're starting at $5,000, and then each week $160. Assume he didn't withdraw any money during this period. How many weeks does it take him to get to 5,640? So plus $60 per week equals 5,640. If I subtract 5,000 from both sides, I'm left with 160. W equals 640. And then if I divide by 160 on both sides, I get 4. So after 4 weeks. Mike bought a car, new tires. The tires were $1,000, and he had to make a down payment of 1/2 of his total purchase. His down payment was $7,000. Represent an equation to represent this. Write and solve an equation to represent this equation. Let's see equal represent the cost of the car. So the equation for this, he bought a new car and tires. So that's kind of where you are there. Then he makes a down payment of half of that. So half of the total price, which will be whatever the price of the car was, plus $1,000 equals $7,000. So when you go to solve this, you can either distribute or you can actually multiply by 2/1 on both sides. So you get C plus 1,000 equals 14,000. And it's not a bad way to do it because that's kind of how you would do it if you were solving this problem out. 1,000, you would double the price and then take off 1,000. So it would be $13,000 for the car. Okay, other words from infinitely many solutions is, this is like vocabulary, it should be identity, that's another word, and all real numbers. In set notation, it would look like this: the x, the line, the x, the e, the r. If an equation has no possible answer, it is no solution. You can use the symbol this, the circle with the slash through it, and set notation is the empty set. Okay. We need a couple more questions. This is a long study guide. Okay, so for number 14, I'm going to cross multiply, right, to solve for the equation. So that would be 14 times 3a, which is 42a. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to do 8 times 9 minus a. And then I'll add 8a to both sides. And you get 50a equals 72. Divide by 50 on both sides, and you get 36 over 25 as your final. All right, for this one, I'm actually going to get rid of all of the numbers by making all of the denominators the same. I'm going to do it that way. So if I can get 6, 9, and 1, right? So I can multiply this by 3, multiply this by 2, and multiply this by 18. And you get 36 and 2m over 18 minus 15m over 18. Once you get here, you can take and cross out all of your denominators, and you're just left with 15m minus 2m equals 36, which is 13m equals 36. And then we divide by 13 on both sides. So it's 36 over 13. All right, number 16, subtract 2 on both sides. You get 13 equals, we multiply by 3. 39 equals 4y, and then plus 7. 46 equals 4y. Yep, and then you divide by 4. And once you simplify it again, it should be 23 over 2. 46 over 4 equals 23 over 2. All right, the last one on this part, again, we're cross multiplying. So 7 times r plus 2 equals 5 times 2r minus 11. I'm going to subtract 7r from both sides, so that's 14 equals 3r minus 55. And then I'm going to add 55 to both sides, so I get 3r equals 69. Divide by 3. So r is 23. That one. Should probably circle these in so you can see them on the answer key. All right, number 18, we're solving for s, so I'm going to subtract 1. Remember when you're doing these literal equations, and that's t minus 1 equals 1/8 s, and then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, but just be careful because you want to multiply the whole thing by the reciprocal. So s equals 8. You can distribute your answer. You could do 8t minus 8, but I'm just going to leave it just like that. Okay, solve. We're actually going to not do this one. I believe I told you not to do that in class, hopefully, if I remembered. Volume of a cone, solve for h. So we're going to multiply by 3. 3v equals pi r squared h, and then we'll divide by pi r squared on both sides. And then the last one on here, solve for y. We're going to subtract 5x from both sides and then divide everything by -2. When you divide here, you want to divide each term. So that's going to be y equals -5 divided by -2 is 5/2. 10 divided by -2 is -5. All right, hopefully this was helpful. If you still have any pending questions, feel free to ask, and I will talk to you later.